They say you always know, that there's a moment, an instinct, a sudden silence that tells you something is wrong, but I didn't feel it because I didn't want to. I was married to the man I loved, and the woman I called my sister, she was just always there. Until the day I realized I wasn't the wife anymore. I was the third wheel in my own marriage. This isn't a story about revenge, it's a story about denial, collapse, and choosing to walk away before I forgot who I was. Chapter 1: Before the Storm. My name is Rachel. I'm 37. I work in publishing, mostly fiction, mostly late nights. Ethan, my husband, is 39, a high school history teacher. We met at a friend's wedding in Vermont. He spilled coffee on my dress and offered to buy me a new one. We were married 3 years later. Small backyard ceremony, lots of laughter, no regrets. We had one rule: no secrets, ever. For the first few years, we lived that rule. We shared everything, from bills to dreams to bathroom mirror space. We weren't perfect, but we were safe, steady. Or so I thought. Chapter 2. Her name was Claire. Claire had been my best friend since sophomore year of college. She knew my passwords, my coffee order, my childhood traumas. She was always around, dinners, birthdays, Sunday hikes. Ethan and Claire got along, a little too well maybe, but I took it as a good thing. Better that my husband likes my best friend than hates her, I told myself. What I didn't say out loud was, sometimes he looks at her longer than he looks at me. Chapter 3: Little Things. It started with smiles that lingered, then inside jokes I wasn't part of. One night I came downstairs and found them laughing on the couch. When they saw me, they both stopped, like a curtain had dropped. I asked jokingly, "What's the joke?" Claire said, "You had to be there." But I was there, and I felt invisible. Chapter 4: The text. I wasn't snooping, I swear. Ethan had left his phone on the nightstand. It buzzed. Claire's name. I glanced. It said, "Thinking about last night, can't stop." My heart stopped. I opened the thread. Dozens of messages, photos, jokes about me, plans to talk soon, references to next time. I remember one line in particular. Does she suspect anything? I wanted to vomit. Instead, I sat on the floor and cried, quietly, because the person I would usually call in a moment like this was her. Chapter 5: The Confrontation. I didn't confront them right away. For days, I watched them. Claire hugged me like nothing had changed. Ethan kissed me like nothing was missing, but everything was. When I finally broke, it was a Sunday morning, pancakes on the stove, coffee brewing. I turned to Ethan and asked, "Are you in love with her?" He froze, didn't deny it, didn't even blink, just whispered, "I didn't mean to." Chapter 6: The lie I told myself I didn't leave, not right away. I told myself it was a phase, a mistake, an emotional affair. He said he'd end it, said it meant nothing. Claire disappeared for a while, radio silence. We went to therapy, we had dinner dates, we pretended. I made love to a man I no longer trusted because I was terrified of being alone. I became a stranger to myself. Chapter 7: The Return. 6 months later, Claire came back. At a mutual friend's birthday. I hadn't seen her since the messages. She looked at me like I was the one who owed her an apology. Ethan couldn't look at me the entire night. When we got home, I asked, "Did it start again?" He didn't speak. He didn't have to. Chapter 8: The Breaking Point. I packed my bags that night. He begged me to stay. "You're my wife," he said. "No," I whispered. "I was your wife, until you started giving pieces of me away." He cried, said he was confused. I didn't scream, I didn't slap him. I just said, "You already chose. You just didn't have the guts to say it out loud." And I walked away. Chapter 9: What Healing Looks Like. Healing isn't pretty. It's sobbing in your new apartment with bare walls. It's deleting their photos from your phone, then digging through the trash folder to look again. It's signing divorce papers with shaking hands and a fake smile. But then one day, you sleep through the night, you laugh without flinching, you see a text and your stomach doesn't twist. You realize you were never hard to love, just loving the wrong person. Chapter 10. Final words. To the woman out there wondering if it's all in her head, trust the quiet. It always tells the truth. To the man who chose comfort over commitment, you lost more than you know. And to Claire, I hope the love you stole tastes sweet, but I'll never envy a love built on betrayal. Because now, I know who I am, and I will never, ever become invisible again. Chapter 11. Apartment 3B. The first night in my new place, I sat on the floor with a paper cup of wine and a slice of cold pizza. No furniture, just a mattress and some boxes. Outside, the city hummed. Inside, I was empty. I thought I'd feel empowered, but I felt like I was drowning in silence, the kind of silence that echoes back your worst thoughts. I opened my laptop and typed, "Day 1, I left." Then I closed it, but I would keep writing, every day, because some stories don't need to be told to anyone, just to yourself. Chapter 12. Therapy Thursdays. Her name was Dr. Stein, late 50s, kind eyes, brutally honest. I didn't want to go at first, but my voice cracked when I said, "He cheated with my best friend." She asked, "Why did you stay?" I froze. I was afraid of losing everything. She leaned forward. "Rachel, you already had." And that was the first time I admitted it. I had lost myself years before the affair. Chapter 13. Ghosts in the grocery store. Healing isn't linear. It's walking into the store and seeing his favorite cereal, and standing there like you forgot how to breathe. It's hearing your old song in a coffee shop and spilling your latte because your hands won't stop shaking. It's passing a woman with her head on a man's shoulder and feeling like you're watching a life that used to be yours. But each time, the hurt gets a little quieter, a little less sharp. Chapter 14. Letters I never sent. I started writing again, not just journals, but letters. To Claire, to Ethan, to myself. I wrote things like, "You didn't break me. You just showed me the cracks I'd been ignoring. I thought I needed you to be whole, but all I needed was to finally choose myself. You can't heal where you were hurt." I never mailed them. I burned them in my kitchen sink one night, watched the ashes rise, felt 10 pounds lighter. Chapter 15. The dinner invitation. 6 months after the divorce, I got a message. "Hey, can we talk? Just one dinner, no expectations. Ethan." I stared at it for a long time. Part of me was curious, part of me wanted to scream, but mostly I wanted closure, so I said yes. Chapter 16. Closure isn't clean. He looked tired, older, sad. The restaurant was small, cozy, the kind we used to love. He started with, "I'm sorry," and I believed him. I did. But that didn't mean I wanted him back. He asked if I was seeing anyone. "No," I said, "but I'm learning to love myself. That's harder than dating." He looked down. "She left me, you know." "I know. She said I was never really hers. That part of me still belonged to you." I smiled, just a little. Maybe that's the part that knew better. We didn't hug goodbye, but it felt complete. Chapter 17. A different kind of love story. Love comes back, but not always the way you expect. Sometimes it's in the friend who checks on you weekly. Sometimes it's in the stranger who smiles in line at the bookstore. Sometimes it's in you, when you catch your own reflection and don't look away. When you take yourself to the movies and laugh louder than anyone else in the room. When you make pancakes on a Sunday morning just for yourself. That's the love I found. Not the kind that fills holes, but the kind that makes you whole. Chapter 18. The email from Claire. 10 months later. Subject line, "Please read this." It started with, "I don't expect forgiveness." I just wanted to say I'm sorry, not just for what I did, but for what I ruined. I miss you every day. I hope you're okay. I stared at it. I didn't reply. Forgiveness isn't something you owe people. Sometimes it's something you give yourself by letting go. So I hit archive, and that was that. Chapter 19, Falling In. Like his name was Leo, we met at a friend's poetry reading. He wore old boots and carried a notebook full of sketches. He didn't try to fix me, he didn't rush me, he just listened, laughed, showed up. We had coffee, then brunch, then silence that didn't feel empty. When he touched my hand for the first time, I didn't flinch. And when he kissed me, I didn't cry afterward. That's how I knew. Chapter 20, Full Circle. 1 year later, I woke up on my balcony with the morning sun in my face and a book in my lap. Leo was inside making breakfast. I wasn't thinking about Ethan or Claire or the life I'd lost. I was thinking about how far I'd come, from the woman who stayed too long, to the woman who finally walked away and built something beautiful, all on her own. If you're still inside the heartbreak, still checking your phone, still replaying the betrayal, I want you to hear this. You will survive. Not by pretending it didn't hurt, but by letting it change you. You don't have to be the same after. You get to be better, bolder, free. And one day you'll look at yourself and think, damn, I really made it out. And you'll be right.